Dun 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 dun. Hi, the name's Hawk. Part shark. Part horse. Welcome to the Randimals.
Hi, Hawk here, part horse, part shark. You might wonder, how did the Randimals start?
So I often get asked the question, how did Randimals start? Does anyone know how Randimals started? We got some well-educated Do you know how it started? How did it start? Any ideas? Well, it was this guy. This was our Basset lab. His name was Ollie, and he had all the stubbornness of a Basset and the lovingness of a lab, and we loved him. What's that? Oh, yeah, so he was cute, right? He was smiley. He was very fashionable, and he was very intelligent. Who has a mixed breed dog? Aren't they the best? You get two different personalities blended into one, and that was part of the reason, that was some of the inspiration for Randimals. Now, I'm going to let you into a little secret, and this has to stay within these four walls. Randimals was conceived at the Cellar Pub. It was late one night, and Casey and I were talking about starting a toy company. I have no idea why, it just happened. It happened at the cellar. And when I woke up the next morning and looked at this little napkin drawing of all the different animals that we created, I still thought that it was a good idea, but that we had three big problems. The three big problems were, we had no idea how to make toys, we had no money to make them, and we also had no time because we both had full-time jobs. And that's where the Randimals idea stayed until March of 2020. And I think everybody knows what happens in March of 2020. We close the theater, we cancel the shows, we refund people's tickets, and it was a dark time. I love working at the Argyros, but I'll be honest, I actually worried that we would actually come out the other side of this and still have a theater. And I turned to Casey, where is Casey? There he is. I turned to Casey and I said, I don't know what we're gonna do. And without skipping a beat, to his credit, he said, let's do the Randimals. And one thing that we did have that was a problem before was time. We had plenty of time. So we poured ourselves into reading all about how to start a toy company, how to make samples, how to bring toys over from overseas, unfortunately, but we brought toys in from overseas. We learned about patents and everything to do with toy making. And we dug out those drawings that we did on the back of a napkin. And we looked for a graphic designer that could help make these toys become a reality. And the person that we found was in Nepal, of all places. And she's wonderful, and she's still our graphic designer. Her name is Sunita. And you can see that she mashed these pictures together. And this isn't very far away from how they actually ended up being. And we gave them names. So we just mashed the names of the two animals together, and we created the Randimals. You have shark horse? You even brought two sharks with you? Oh, give that fantastic. You want a duck horse stuffy? Well, we just we mashed the names together, and because we had lots of time on our hands, we created personalities for these guys. And this is in our second book. We created the Photoshop animals, and we put them in the second book down below, and we wrote a poem about each one of them. Would you like to hear one of them? I didn't practice, Hawk. I only practiced this one. Shout out your favorite Randimal. I heard Alarilla. Fantastic. I heard Alarilla. Yeah, somewhere, I heard Alarilla. I'll give Hawk a go, but this is the one we did. The reason I picked Alarilla is that she is the matriarch of the Randimal. She is the mother of the Randimal. She's the Randimal that taught the other Randimals our message, which is what makes us different, makes all the difference in the world. Oh, I like how it all went hush when I said the message. That's cool. So this is what we thought of for Alarilla's voice. Hey,
As you know, we never forget. You can put it to the test. But the second we feel threatened, we like to beat our chest. I like to eat fruit, leaves, and ice cream. My favorite flavor is vanilla. I bet you didn't know that. Hi, my name is Ellarilla.
So that was Ellarilla. Well, I'll do one more. Do you want one more? Which one? Hork? Hork? All right. I have no idea. I only have a limited number of voices I can do, and I don't do them exceptionally well, but Hork happens to be Australian. Okay. Well, hi. In the morning, I swim and look for food. My sense of smell is amazing. In the afternoon, I gallop through fields with a little stop for grazing. I might look a little scary. Yes, I can walk and talk. I'm actually just a big old softie. Hi, my name is Hawk. That was Hawk.
Oh, hello. Igor here, part eagle and part leopard. Let me tell you about Randimals Direct Message.
And if you would like a message from Hork to you as a direct message, you just go on the website and you request a message from your favorite Randimal. This
a big dog here, part penguin, part dog. And to all you beautiful people at the Argyros Center, that is how to say, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season and a happy new year with lots of love from all the Randimals. Don't forget, what makes us different makes all the difference in the world.
I'll translate. He said, have a happy holidays. I think a mixture of the speakers and his heavy fake French accent made it very difficult to understand.
Hello, a big dog here, part penguin, part dog. Let me tell you how we make the Randimals.
The next thing that we did was we found some manufacturers. That was not easy. The manufacturers did not want to work with us. They said that you work at a theater and you're out of employment and your partner fixes computers. We're not going to work with you. We finally managed to find a company that was willing to work with us. And when we sent them the pictures, you know what they said? They went, ew, those are weird. Those are different. We make sharks and we make horses. We do not make shark horses. So we said, please, 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 just give it a try. Do a sample for us. And then this box, we finally managed to find somebody to make us the samples. And this box showed up 3 months later. And does anyone know about 3D printing? Would you explain it to me in the lobby after the show? Because he said he printed this. What does that mean? That's what he said, and I still didn't get it. But this is the very first Hork. Can you see how? See, it's really light. And just from the drawing that we sent, the graphic designer sent the drawing. This is what they gave us. And if you look at the actual Hork, look at how closely that came back. This was the first attempt. I mean, we've never made toys before, but I'm guessing that you don't successfully make a toy on the first attempt. So we gave A+ to our hard toy company. The soft toys, who remembers this guy? Remember Huck? This is not how Huck looked to start with. This was after 5 attempts. I don't know. We didn't go with this company, let's put it that way. And so this is how Huck ended up being. And this was the very, very first little Ellarilla, too, and we made some improvements on him. So the next thing we did, so there are the hard toys, and this is who we work with. His name is Max, and he's fantastic. So then we had the courage to go ahead and make the stuffies. These are all the stuffies that we did in the first round. And then we ordered them. Now this is COVID, so none of us were able to test. If I'd have had all the toys and all you guys in here, we could have done a really good test. We had no kids, nothing available. So we just went on a hunch, and we thought, we hope kids will like these. By this time, we had no idea how much it was going to cost to get to this stage, so we didn't even have enough money to bring the toys from Seattle, where they landed, to Ketchum. So Casey and I drove in a U-Haul, and we picked them all up. And we did it in one go. We went there, back. We didn't even have enough money to stay the night in a hotel. That's how bad it got. So when we got here, we thought, okay, now we need to sell these toys. And so it was around Christmas time, and I don't know if anyone came to our store at the Rico's. Oh, right, a round of applause for the store. Well, the kids seemed to like them, and schools would ask to come to Rico's to learn about the Randimals and meet Santa in the COVID snow globe. So that was...
Hello, Huck here, part horse and part duck. Let's talk marketing and social media.
And after that, we thought, okay, well, let's make a website. So we found this guy who lives in Pakistan, and he still works with us today. His name is Hassan, and he built us that beautiful website. And then from there, we had to do this thing called social media. I did not want to do the social media part. I've posted a picture of my vacation here and there, but this is real. You have to do social media. This is the way of selling toys online. And TikTok was really, really blowing up. So I thought, I missed out on Instagram. I went from Facebook to TikTok. I didn't really learn Instagram, but TikTok ended up being the platform that we wanted to do. Who here is a really good social, who would say that they do social media really well? Because we would love to speak to you. Yes, Jack? Jack, you're a social media guru? Why didn't you let me know that? So we ended up making a couple of TikToks, and we'd like to play one right now. This is called our Attenborough series. You know Attenborough, who does all the documentaries? This is me doing a really, really lousy interpretation of David Attenborough. And TikTok skews a little older. So we found out that lots of adults were buying the Randimals, something we never knew. And so we tailored this one a little bit older.
On this snowy island, there lives a hunter that smells its prey with its butt. A hunter that will ambush pigs, deer, and even mimes. It looks mythical, though it's not. The hawk, which is half shark and half horse, has made this island its home. And while they vary in size as much as an elephant to the size of a mouse, they share a distinctive temperament. It is just about midday, and the hawks have gathered to sun themselves. While they are not resting in the typical sense, the hawks use this time to soak up the sun to raise their internal body temperature. They will also play craps and three-card Monty. This large male of the species has had enough sun. He, like many of his kind, can only gamble so much before he needs to isolate himself and listen to blaring trap music.
Damn.
Well, we put this out on the internet and we got a few sales. We did. I'm like, this works. And then 1 week later, I wake up and my phone is buzzing like crazy. It is going off the charts. So is Casey's. We both call each other at the same time. And we say, what is happening? What is happening? What is happening? We sold out at Amazon overnight. Overnight, we sold, we only had about 7,000 toys there, which is a lot, but we sold out overnight. And so for 2 days, Casey and I were walking around thinking that we were these influencers, these social media gurus, and that I'd missed my vocation, and I was going to give everything up and just promote toys. Well, that ended about 2 days later when this lady called. Her name is Claire, and she lives in Minnesota, and she's a toy designer. And she, unbeknownst to us, bought all 18 toys and did a review online. And it ended up getting 1.5 million views. And that's what led us to sell out. She called and said, I'm so sorry, I might have broken your website store. And we said, thank you, thank you, thank you. We've kept in touch with her, and she just did a video TikTok of our new Randimals. And what she does is called unboxing. Do you kids know you've seen these videos, right? When you unbox. So what we thought might be fun is if we do an unboxing on stage to win 3 Randimals. So who would like to...
Hello, Shoot Dog here, Pot Sealant, Pot Dog. Let's do some unboxing.
Okay. So Dina has a bag, and in the bag are the 3 new Randimals for the Christmas holidays. So let's start with, what is your name? Your name is Jack. Okay, Jack. So I have a feeling that Jack knows these already, so this is already a little bit. Oh, this is one of 3 new Randimals. So Jack, can you describe? I think you already know what this is, but can you describe what the 2 animals are that this guy is made of? That's right. Okay, so audience, you got how we smushed the names together. Who wants to take a stab to help Jack win this one as to what the name might be? Porca, that's good, but it's not what we did. So there's a whale and a panda. Wanda? Wanda is right. You just helped Jack win a Wanda. Well done, Jack. Okay, next up. What is your name? Robin. I know, that's Robin. All right, put your head in there. Don't fall in the bag. Oh, my favorite. Hey, you know that goes with your jacket so well. Okay, so what do we think this is, Robin? A mix of what?
A mix of a bee and a T-Rex.
They're so smart in the Wood River Valley. Yes, that's exactly right. And, oh, we have a name here. We have a name? B-Rex, that's absolutely right. B-Rex, you can take B-Rex home with you. And the last but not least, we had the most fun making this one because we wanted one to be so odd and weird and funky. Push back the hair so that it gets all spiky. What do we think this guy is? What do we think this one is? Porcupine and a pig. And the name? Who said Porky Pig? Porky Pig! This fabulous jacket back there. Yes, that's absolutely right. That is yours to keep, Porky Pig. So those are the 3 new Randimals that we came out with this Christmas.
Porcupine here, part pig and part porcupine. Let's talk Random Minis.
In addition to the Randimals, we also wanted to do another collection. If Dina can bring up the other collection, who remembers thank you. Who said that? Molly. Who remembers Beanie Babies from the 90s? Yes. Who has 300 Beanie Babies in their garage? In Tupperware. Yeah. They went from being so valuable to not so much. Well, we're bringing Beanie Babies back. And Dina, if you'd like to bring these up on stage, we're calling these Random Minis. These are the Random Minis. They're little Randimals. And you know what? What's been interesting in this whole process is that we have been forming these groups, these communities of people that are drawn to Randimals. And one interesting group that we didn't know anything about was the autistic community. Parents of autistic kids and autistic kids writing to us asking about Randimals. And we made this in conjunction with an organization that is all about helping autistic parents. And autistic kids often have like fidget toys. You know the fidget toys? Does anyone have a fidget toy? Yes. And autistic kids often personify objects. They look at objects and they make them into characters and people. And so we created these Random Minis in part for the autistic community. And we actually won. Do you have the, where's the eGuard one? This is my favorite, I think. And this sort of goes to the Randimals, the message. You would think that this guy, you know, he can run or she can run the fastest because it's a leopard and fly because he or she's an eagle. But if you learn about, like, when you see people, it's not always what you seem. And eGuard isn't necessarily the most confident of the bunch. And this is what, each one of them has a little rhyme inside. And I think Random Minis, Beanie Babies had the same, right? So this one says, by day I fly high in the sky. My wings catch the slightest breeze. In the afternoon, I take it easy. I love to nap in trees. You might think I have it easy, but sometimes life is hard. I'd love to have a friend like you. Hi, my name is eGuard.
The name is B-Rex, part bee and part Tyrannosaurus Rex. Would you like to create your own Randimal?
We always wanted kids to be a part of creating Randimals because you guys have great imaginations. And that's why we created a place on our website. And who drew some Randimals in the lobby? Did you put your name on it and a phone number? Fantastic. So if you want to draw some Randimals, send them into the website and we'll put them up there. And we want to do a Randimal that's based on one of your designs. If you see here, can you see what this guy is? Bunny Bee. Bunny Bee was the inspiration for B-Rex. And this guy over here, Panda Tang, that was a panda and an orangutan. That was what we came up with for Wanda. And so we wondered if, you look like a very creative crew, who would like to come up on stage and create a Randimal? And I think this is best if we involve one parent or grandparent or adult and a child. So this is a duo, and we need 2 duos. Okay, so this is how it works. What is your favorite animal? And go crazy. No cats, dogs, and horses. What's your favorite animal?
Me?
Yes.
Unicorn.
A unicorn. Everybody wants to do a unicorn, so this actually might end up getting made. And what was your favorite animal? Dragon. A unicorn and a dragon. Okay, so you can see where this is going to go. You both have to draw a unicorn and a dragon together and come up with a name. And if you don't come up with a name, these guys are really good at names. So you'll have about 3 minutes on the clock. So, all right, let's have a look at what, oh my goodness. This worked out a lot better than I had wildly hoped. What do we think here for, what are we calling this one? Dragonicorn. Can we have a round of applause for Dragonicorn? Do you want to talk about this at all? I see the unicorn, and then we've got the dragon. What? The dragon body, the dragon body with a long tail. I think we should make this one. I like that one a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do you want to get around? Can you give these guys a random mini, Dina? Random mini for these guys.
Hello, Annabella here, part elephant and part gorilla. Let me tell you about the Randimals book and its message. What makes us different makes all the difference in the world.
So this is the last part of our presentation this evening. And from the very beginning, we wanted Randimals to be more than just combination animals. I think you've heard me say that really what we wanted to do is have a message that Randimals are what makes us different, makes all the difference in the world. And when we showed our friends, the Randimals to start with, similarly to how we showed some of the manufacturers, they said, ew, they're a bit weird, they're a bit different. But kids, not so much. Kids do not see differences in the same way. They never saw that. They see through differences and they embrace them. And that is what helped us create and craft this message. Because difference is awesome. Isn't difference awesome? Yeah. It's our superpower. It's the soup of life. How boring would it be if we were all the same? And so that is what the message of the Randimals is. And difference can mean different things. It can mean different cultures. It can mean different backgrounds. It can mean different genders. It can mean different abilities and disabilities. Or it can just be the difference between you and I, Judith. Just between you and I. Right. Do you know Darlene Baker? Yeah. Yeah, who knows Darlene Baker? Lots of you. I was talking to her the other day, and you know she has identical twins, and I hadn't seen them in a while. I said, gosh, how do you tell them apart? And she said, you know what? They might seem the same on the surface, but they are very, very different. And so that really, that is the message of the Randimals. And thank goodness we're all different, and that is what Randimals celebrates. And when we wrote this book, I was terrified. I have to admit, I was absolutely terrified, because when I was 15, I failed my English. It's called O-level in England. I think you call it something like an SAT over here, is that right? So I failed English, and I'm from England. That's really embarrassing. Really embarrassing when you fail your own language. It was the examination conditions. Who's good at exams here? Well, you're lucky. You're lucky. I used to revise and revise and revise, and when I got to the test, it all just left my head. I was never very good at doing exams. And so if this project has taught me anything, it's taught me to be braver, It's taught me to take some risks. It's taught me to not necessarily listen to the naysayers and the doubters. And it's taught me that if you want to do something, you've almost got to be obsessed and possessed by it. And Dina will testify to both of those for me. And then the last thing I'd like to say is to any kids, put your hand up if you're a kid. Do you sometimes have ideas? You do? Don't be afraid to try anything with your idea. Give it a shot, even if you fail, because one thing is for sure. If you don't do anything, nothing will happen. So we're going to do the world premiere staged reading of The Randimals. Like any other little girl, Sydney loved her toys. But all too often Sydney creates and then destroys. Her dad was once this way until he discovered something new. One of his toys shouted out to him, "You know we have feelings too." And from that day on, he cherished his toys and he tried to teach his daughter. So you can imagine his disappointment when one day he caught her. He took away her dolls and hoped it was a lesson. And then he told her of his shameful past in a heartfelt confession. Sydney was left with her old plush toys and plenty to regret. But staring at these long-lost toys, she grew less and less upset. She used to love these toys so much, and now they were all she had. They were about to teach her something, along with her loving dad. She kissed them all good night, promising adventures in the morning. But her old dog, Ollie, had other ideas without giving her any warning. Ollie waited till she fell asleep. His excitement grew and grew. Then he snuck over to the pile of toys and he began to chew and chew. What's going to happen, Ken? What's going to happen? This is going to prove really, really bad in the morning, isn't it? When Sydney woke next morning, she couldn't believe what she saw. Toys chewed up everywhere, scattered across the floor. Sydney clutched her torn-up toys, feeling deep and utter despair. Yet not long after that, her thoughts turned to their repair. She held what was left of her horse, Dapple, and began to shed a tear. Then she looked over at her beloved Sharky, and she had a great idea. What if she combined both animals together? Yes, it was a perfect fit. Sure, stuffing stuck out everywhere, but she didn't care a bit. She named him Hork, and she started on another. This time, a horse and a duck. They were coming together, one after the other. She couldn't believe her luck. When her dad found Sydney's creations, he took them in a flash. Ha! He didn't realize that she'd brought them back to life, and she threw them in the trash. Oh. Oh. It's okay, it turns out well in the end. The toys were taken to the dump after a long and windy drive. But next morning, when the sun came up, guess what? They came alive. At first, they were quite confused as to who and what they were. They had no idea how they got there. It was all such a blur. A truck nearby was emptying trash. 2 kids hung out the door. They were pleading with their dad, "Can we go to the toy store?" The toys seized their opportunity. They ran to the truck and jumped in. The Randimals were on their way. Let the adventures begin. Pulling up to Alice's toy store, there was a notice on the door. Sadly, because of online sales, the toy store is no more. The Randimals headed around the back and found a window open. Their mission was a little unclear, but some answers they were hoping. All of a sudden, they heard screaming voices from several aisles away. When the Randimals got a closer look, they found a soccer match in play. All kinds of toys were running around. Then one of them let out a shrill. They all turned to face the Randimals, and everyone stood still. "What and who are you?" finally said a giraffe. "You look like you're a bit of everything." And they all began to laugh. A gorilla shouted, "You don't fit in here." And the toys resumed their game. The Randimals turned and walked away. Their heads hung in shame. Ellarilla gathered the Randimals. She was upset. Her lips were curled. "What makes us different," she said, "makes all the difference in the world." Next day, when the toy stores issued an Olympics challenge, the Randimals were not a fan. That's with the exception of Ellarilla, who assured them that she had a plan. For the next few days, they trained and trained. They practiced all kinds of drills. Ellarilla gave an inspiring speech, and they discovered their amazing skills. Game day came, and the Randimals were ready. The store toys were eager to compete, but with every contest, as hard as they tried, the store toys met defeat. They even tried some dirty tricks, but it still left them in the dust. They were no match for the Randimals, and their supporters showed disgust. Ellarilla had taught her team well. Confidence and honor were on display. This was not lost on the toy store supporters, who respected them all the way. Now, while all this was going on, right underneath their nose, Alice was finishing plans to get rid of all the toys and clothes. But before she shipped everything out, she made a promise to her son Bart. She said he could pick out all the toys he liked, enough to fill a shopping cart. When humans are approaching, every toy just knows. So when Bart burst into the toy store, they ran back to the shelves and froze. He flew down the aisle with such excitement, then stopped. He couldn't talk. His eyes were fixed on this beautiful creature, a shark horse named Hork. He picked Hork up and swished him around. His eyes were getting bigger and bigger. Then he turned around and came face to face with a squirrel tiger named Squigger. It wasn't long before his cart was full with all the Randimals that he had collected. They smiled back at the toys on the shelf, who clearly felt quite rejected. Bart showed his mother the Randimals as he flew the leopard with wings. Alice didn't know where they had come from or why Bart would want such old things. "They're so, well, different," Alice said. Bart and Egad began to wrestle. "Why would you want these?" she pleaded. "Mom, it's their difference that makes them special." This stopped Alice in her tracks. Bart's simple message made her see. We are all unique and different. It's what makes us, you and me. Bart's friends, wanted Randimals too. What a beautiful lesson they could teach. If Alice made more Randimals, how far this message could reach. But before the job of making more Randimals and spreading these cute little teachers, a question still remained. Who created these wonderful creatures? The mystery was solved before too long. Once Bart posted the Randimals online. They went viral in a matter of hours, and it was only a question of time. Imagine Sydney's surprise when her friend sent her a link. Seeing her toys in front of her eyes, she didn't know what to think. Sydney explained the whole story when the families met up the next day. She loved the idea of creating more Randimals, but first, they just wanted to play. Soon, they were in their own little world. They were having the best of times. Sydney wondered if the toys knew they were loved and began to look for signs. Sydney looked into Ellarilla's eyes, and an extraordinary thing took place. One by one, the creatures came alive. You should have seen the look on their face.
We love you too, said Ellarilla. This is the best time we've ever had. Now you're the only two girls that know our secret. Oh, as well as Ben, your dad.
The children were speechless, especially Sydney.
My dad, say that again?
Ellarilla brought the Randimals in close, and she started to explain.
Remember when you were little, and every night before bed, your dad would read you a story, then kiss you on the head. You often fell asleep in minutes, but your dad would just carry on. And when he'd finished, he'd kiss us all, each and every one.
Happy tears ran down both their faces.
But how do you know he knew?
Ellarilla paused and lowered her voice.
I just know, and now so do you.
So, treat your toys with kindness, and that goes for everyone you know. What makes us different makes us special, and embracing that makes us grow. Big clap for our actors, Rayleigh, Maite, and Mineo. Good job, guys.
Kangaroo here, part zebra, part kangaroo. Let's learn the Randimal song.
We're going to do a song. Who remembers what the message of the Randimals is? What makes us different makes all the difference in the world. Now, we'd like all the kids to stand up. We're going to do a quick song. Here's the song. And it's a very simple song, and it's got movement. Let's have all the kids on the front row. Do you want to come up on the stage? Yeah, just come up on the stage. The first line of the song, I'm all Randimal. I'm all Randimal. Are you ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm all Randimal. I'm all Randimal. All right, I think we can do better than that. Let's go really, really loud. Are you ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm all Randimal. I'm all Randimal. Okay, the second paragraph is easy too. It's similar to the first, but it's you're all Randimal, okay? So with that, you're going to point at the audience. The audience are going to point at you because we are all Randimals. So the second verse, you're all Randimal, you're all Randimal. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You're all Randimal, you're all Randimal. Gary, I could hear you from here. Then the last verse is we're all Randimal together. A big together. Do a practice of together. Together we're Randimals. All right, I think this group's so smart we can just string it all together in one go. Are we ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm all Randimal. I'm all Randimal. You're all Randimal. You're all Randimal. We're all Randimal. Together we're Randimals. I even saw you crack a smile. I saw you. Oh, you made up for it. I'm still scared. I'm still very scared of him. Thank you. Oh, I think we were going to sing some. Do you hear something, Rayleigh? Do you hear something? I think I hear something. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Oh my goodness, I think it is. Is it who I think it is? Oh my goodness, we have Santa Claus. A big round of applause for Santa Claus. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Jingle bells,
Let's launch them. Throw them. Throw them. Throw them.
Oh, what
Throw
fun
them.
it is to ride in a
Throw
one-horse
them.
open sleigh. Hey,
Yeah, throw
jingle
'em back.
bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, what fun it is to ride
a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much. Throw them all back on the stage. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful holiday season. We've got Santa Claus in the lobby. We've got Randimals toys, Randimals books. Thank you so much.